Hey everyone, what's going on? This is Kiodiekin. Welcome back to the channel. So I originally planned on doing this video a little differently. I just started taking this thing apart, getting ready to pack up some stuff for another project that I'm working on. But at any rate, reason why I wanted to do this video is because I know a lot of you have asked me which fight sticks are compatible with the Chrono Zen. And so as you can see, I have two additional fight sticks down there. Both of those are the Atari Fight Sticks for Micro Center. This one here is the single player Atari Fight Stick, and that one there is the double player Atari Fight Stick. Then of course we have this, and then of course we have my Atari Micro Center cabinet here. Both of these are using two different encoders. This one uses the same type of encoder as that one down there. This one, the dual player fight stick. It's the same USB controller. So a few months ago, Charlie, or Max admin from the Chrono Zen team made an announcement. I asked the question because even some of you have asked which fight sticks are compatible with the Chrono Zen. And so as you guys know, for example, I used the Chronos Max on this Atari cabinet. It can pretty much kind of take anything. Like this is a USB encoder that I use, and then I'll also use that. Works with the Chronos Max. However, the Chrono Zen only accepts authorized controllers, like real controllers. And so he did answer the question. He said the only one that he knows that works, because it is an official controller, is the Razer Xbox One controller, for example, because that is an official controller. So with that being said, I wanted to expound upon that information. What you're looking at here in front of me is the Ori fight stick. I got it from eBay a few years ago. I mean, it's the Ori EX. I bought this on eBay back in around 2009, 2010 when Marvel vs. Capcom 2 came out. And so I'm not too familiar with this USB encoder. However, this is an Ori PCB. Obviously, it runs directly to the USB. I use this to authenticate my Chronos Max. Obviously, I could use this with the Chrono Zen. But the Razer Xbox One fight stick is an official controller, not so much because of the controller, but because of the PCB or the encoder that is in the fight stick. Reason why that's very important to know is because of this. This fight stick here, the single player one, uses something called a bail-in USB encoder. This one uses the Microtech, as well as that side there uses the Microtech. That one there uses the regular off-brand USB encoder. The Chrono Zen doesn't accept all controllers. It only accepts authorized controllers. This would be considered an authorized controller. The Razer one that I mentioned will also be considered a authorized controller, because there's too many different controllers. In fact, I have one here. As you guys can see, it looks like a Xbox 360 controller. You can plug it directly into an Xbox 360 and it will work. However, when you use it for Raspberry Pi and other types of devices, it registers as some other type of controller. It's not an official controller. And so things like this could get very confusing because there's so many different controllers out there on the market. It's really impossible to know who's going to make what. And so I believe that's why the Chrono Zen team decided to go ahead and just make it official controllers. It really keeps everything organized that way, because again, there's too many controllers out there that look like this, for example, that looks like a Microsoft type controller, but it's not. The drivers, when you plug it into a device, registers as something else. And so the other reason why I wanted to bring that up is because of this. Now, just because I said this controller is a official controller, the Razer controller is also an official fight stick which can register with the Chrono Zen, but that is only because of the PCB. So even though these two controllers, this one uses Microtech and this one uses bail-in, the only thing that makes it official or non-official is the PCB or the encoder inside. Now, there are non-official, I'm not sure if they're really considered hacked, USB encoders. I know you can get one for Xbox 360. You could get one for Nintendo, and I think there's one also for PlayStation 4. You can buy those and they should work. Now, you guys know I'm a test guy. I don't have any of those. However, there are other YouTube videos where I've seen them use them for where they've hooked up other arcade buttons or other controllers using those specific USB encoders. But again, that's because those are decrypted and actually make the controller register as an official controller. So you should be able to mod these using those encoders. Now, those encoders typically run about $12. They're not too expensive. You can get them on Amazon or eBay. I believe they come from overseas. You can hook up your buttons to it. They look like this. They look exactly something like this, but they're dedicated USB controllers for arcade systems and whatnot. So like this one here is just very generic, but there are ones that'll say like, hey, Xbox 360, but it'll look exactly like this. It'll have X, Y, B, A. It'll also have your guide button. I believe this one has something like it as well, but it's not guaranteed. This isn't a dedicated USB encoder. But they do make those on the market. You can put those in your FightSticks that are typically non-compatible and make them officially work with the Chrono Zen. Again, I have not tested those. Again, I am a tester, but because those devices will register or directly connect without having to require an additional form of authentication, it should work. So if you get one, you plug it into your Atari Fight Stick, or let's say you plug it into another Fight Stick like this, that should give you instant connectivity directly to the console and then also to your Chrono Zen. Now, here's the tricky part. Even though I'm telling you guys that this controller here, this is an Xbox 360 dedicated controller, as you guys can see, the only thing making it dedicated and authentic, well, I want to say it makes it authentic, is the encoder. This is something very important to keep in mind, because suppose you buy this controller, right? Or let's say you buy this controller, an official controller, but somebody swapped out the PCB. Ooh. So let's say you see this advertised on eBay, you see it advertised on Amazon, but somebody pulls out the dedicated PCB, which makes it work directly with the Xbox One, the PS5, the PS4, the Nintendo Switch, and they put, let's say if I put this in here right now, swapped it out for this, again, you know, with all things being equal, if I modded it with that, try to run it to the Chrono Zen, it's not going to work. Because remember, these are just buttons. These are just joysticks. All of that connects directly to the PCB, which then, or I'm sorry, the encoder, which then sends the signal to the dedicated device that you're trying to activate. So even though you may go on eBay or Amazon, pick up a controller, the most important aspect of all of these fight sticks is making sure the encoder inside is authentic, because you can pull them out. Now, I know my buddy Legit Clouds, I think he has the Razer controller. We were talking several months ago in regards to some of this, because he was asking me about, like, you know, fight sticks and whatnot, because I'm into this. And so I know he didn't get back to me. I know he's busy and stuff, but I want to see what encoder that Razer one is using. I haven't actually seen it. I know you guys can see it here in the video as far as what the controller itself, but I haven't seen anybody pull out the actual encoder from that fight stick that Max Admin was referencing to see, you know, what it looks like. Because I was just curious, because it should look something like this, but I just opened this up because I was working on it so you guys could get a better idea. For those of you not familiar with arcade fight sticks, if you don't follow the arcade community and stuff like that, and then of course you could plug that directly into the Chrono Zen. So let me see if my Zen's downstairs. So anyway, just wanted to make this video keeping you guys informed about which fight sticks are compatible with the Chrono Zen, what you should look out for. Chances are it's pretty rare that you will find a fight stick online and somebody swapped it out, because again, this is made for Xbox, but somebody could have swapped it out with something else and it may not work. So that's just something to keep being mindful of. Or let's say you saw one of these being sold on Amazon or eBay and somebody modded it. Again, this particular one, the single player one here, comes with a violin USB encoder. But let's say if I took this out, swapped it over there, then it should work. And it'll work directly with an Xbox 360, and it will also authenticate and work directly with the Chrono Zen as well. Now, this one over here, again, this one has the MicroTech controller. Somebody could swap it out. If I put this in there, with all things being equal, mod it or whatever, it could work. So remember, the most important part about getting a fight stick or any controller is making sure or verifying what PCB is inside. And I just wanted to keep you guys in mind of that, because for those of you not familiar with it, that is possible. I don't want you guys getting screwed over if somebody swaps it out. And so we do have confirmation with that. Again, I wanted to make a video about this. Should have made one, many months ago. But this is a very important topic, because I know you guys primarily see a lot of Chrono Zen videos. Everybody's just using it for Call of Duty and shooting and whatnot. But this is important information for the community to know what fight sticks are compatible with the Chrono Zen. You don't see too many of them, and you don't see too many people using them in an arcade cabinet, like I do. But again, it's not the fight stick itself. It all has to do with the encoder that is inside and what system is registered it for. So if I buy the PS4, or let's say, I'm not sure, is it a PS5 encoder? I know they have the PS4 and the Nintendo Switch encoder. And if I put that in here, then this would work with that, and it would no longer be an Xbox 360 controller. So keep that in mind, guys. Just wanted to make that point of reference. This is really spur on the moment. I'm just in here working, moving around a bunch of stuff, as I always do. But have a Merry Christmas. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out. Like and subscribe. See you later. Bye-bye.